Sharing with you in this video how to let go of trauma to create what you want. And so what this video is going to do is make it so that trauma, anything that has happened to you in your past, if you want to call it a trauma, it no longer defines you. And so that's the first thing that I want to share with you in this video is decide your trauma does not define your identity. That's just the first thing you really want to start to do in your life. If you want to just let it go, decide that it is no longer you. It has nothing to do with who you are. It's just something that happened. So it's not about forgetting what happened. It's not about pretending that it didn't happen or forgetting all about it. It's about forgiving the situation so that it doesn't affect you energetically and emotionally in this present moment. Because why bring the pain of something that happened in the past in this present moment now? It's nonsensical. It's not logical, but the ego mind, when it attaches to itself, it believes that it makes sense to do this. So this simple decision to start to see that you don't need to necessarily attach to any past versions of you that don't resonate in terms of who you prefer to be in this present moment, doesn't resonate with that vision, doesn't resonate with you becoming something greater than who you prefer to be, than who you're being right now. You want to start to become that person that you prefer to be, that person that you actually want to be. And so really the second step that I found to this process that is very, very powerful to start to just let go of trauma completely in your life is to just see that eventually, no matter what has happened to you in your past, no matter how bad it might seem, no matter how negative the situation might have been, eventually you have to move forward. You have to move in a forward direction. There's no other direction when it comes to the creative process other than forward movement. That's really the creative process. That's really becoming something greater, becoming something different, is when you stop looking backwards. You can't look backwards if you want to create the life that you really want. You have to look forwards. You can remember what happened to you, but you can't go back there energetically and emotionally. If you keep going back there, what you're going to do is keep recreating the negative emotions of that situation in the present moment right now. And so that's a problem. That's a problem for your state of being. That's a problem for your own emotional state. That's a problem even for your mental state. And it's pretty safe to say that this doesn't necessarily help the people around you as well. So now you're almost becoming a problem for yourself and others simply because of your, not saying this is you, but it can be a person's lack of willingness to simply move forward and to let go of the past. And when I say the past, I'm talking about something that happened to you. So it's really about feeling empowered to say that no matter what has happened to you, you're going to go in this forward direction. Choose to be grounded in the present moment right now and make a decision to be something different. That's something that we all have within us to do. That's a power that we all have within us. And so the final thing that I want to share with you in this video in terms of how to let go of trauma to create what you want is, instead of victimhood, choose healing / an opportunity to improve, because that's really what happens in a state of adversity. Is when you're in a state of adversity, or you're in a state of what you could call re-experiencing trauma or re-experiencing some negative emotion, instead of feeling bad about that happening, instead of seeing that as a bad situation and then adding more fuel to the fire, making a bad situation worse, why not choose to see it as an opportunity to become something better? It's just simply an opportunity. And you might be thinking, well, that's just wishful thinking. It's only wishful thinking if you don't back it up with action. If you're just thinking, but then there's no action behind it, then it absolutely is wishful thinking. Now, if you want your thoughts to really start to be created in your life, not from a space of victimhood, you have to start to see the victimhood itself, the negativity itself that comes up, as an opportunity. It's helping you. It's helping you to be better. It's not about attaching to the negativity and believing that there's a problem. When you attach to the negativity and believe that there's a problem, you're never able to separate yourself from the problem and then find the solution. Haven't you ever noticed that the best solutions only come when you sort of separate yourself from the problem a little bit, when you take a breather, usually like when you're in the shower or you're just doing some random thing that you're not really paying attention to that problem anymore. And then of course, there comes the solution. But then when you were overthinking about how to figure out the problem, when you were overthinking about how to find the solution, you couldn't find it. Why? Because it's just how it usually works, is that when you ironically let it go, put yourself into a position of power by valuing your state of being first and foremost before the result typically just, you find a way to get it. You find a way to figure it out. And then you stop believing in being a victim. You see that being a victim is, yes, of course, nothing but a choice to do so. It's absolutely a choice to be a victim. And so when we're being victims about the fact that we're being a victim, of course, that's what a victim does. A victim will usually never admit that it's being a victim. Usually will point fingers, will judge, and will blame, and will attack things out there. And then eventually, once we see that it creates a lot of suffering to do this, we'll start to realize that, you know what? Maybe my victimhood is an opportunity to be more accountable for something that I've never been before. And then when you can start to take accountability for your actions, for the things that you've owned, that's when the real transformational process starts to happen. And then trauma truly starts to get let go from your life because you choose not to give it energy and you focus towards a higher vision. Ultimately, if you want to stop recreating the patterns of trauma, what you must begin to do is to start to focus on the vision of the future that you prefer to be until you're in an energy of you're not recreating those emotions anymore. You're being something different. And in order to do this, you have to, again, start off with that initial firm decision to be something greater than who you currently are being right now, who you might have been attached to right now. Not to say that it's bad, not to say that it's a problem, but to just choose something different simply because that's exactly what you want.